morning. It's Ginny and Tim from DS Tech in Escanaba, Michigan, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's time for resolutions if you haven't already dropped them.
Yeah. I think out of the 3 resolutions, I'm on par with 1 still. I don't know.
I haven't even started. But yeah, we were just talking about that last night, how the gym is full right now.
Oh, yeah. Packed.
Full. In 2 weeks, everybody will just drop off.
Supposedly, the average stat is that people will do the resolutions for actually 37 days, I think it was. Which to me was mind-boggling because I thought it would be like a week or 10 days.
I thought 2 weeks.
Supposedly, people stick with it for a little over a month on average.
On average.
We'll see.
Well, hopefully you're not one of them. Hopefully you decided to not make a resolution, maybe make a change, a habit change, right? Something small that you can do throughout the whole year, and that'll make a huge difference in your life. Yep. But that's not what we're talking about today.
Well, we're kind of a little bit with some of the security awareness training later and things like that, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about business resolutions, which is totally different because you're talking about implementing new things into your business that will help your business grow.
Yep.
So before we do, I want you to have the keyword for the day. I want you to drop help if you need any help with this stuff. And then drop your comments and questions, and we'll be happy to respond. So let's talk about these business resolutions. What do we got?
So these are kind of like top 5 resolutions that businesses going into 2025 can either look forward to either implementing or maybe use along in their business. The first one is going to be embracing the artificial intelligence or automation. You know, AI was kind of the buzzword in 2024, and it's not going away. They're still espousing it. And so really the biggest thing would be like automating customer support, using AI tools to maybe respond to your clients faster, using workflows, things like that. You have enhanced marketing efforts. So the big area that AI is helping is basically flyers, weekly ads, putting some stuff together. You can really put a great outline by just using AI. Yeah, a great first rough draft. Add your own little, flair on it, and then you're good to go. Exactly. So that really makes it more efficient for your staff, so they can spend more time, critically thinking or updating their own skills, and not just constantly just trying to keep up with the day to day.
You know what I found it's really good at is if I just give it let's say I write a newsletter, I write an email or whatever, I plug it in there and I just say, take a look at this, and it will fine tune it and make it clearer. Because sometimes when we speak, we're in our own heads, and it just doesn't, it makes it clearer for the reader.
Yes,
which is interesting.
The way it flows and uses words and stuff like that too. Or if you're the person who you're really not orderly, but you have a lot of ideas and you're kind of all over the place too, it's a great idea where you just put all your thoughts down in a giant paragraph. It doesn't even need to be in order, and you can take all that, dump it through AI, and be like, can you structure this in an easy way for me to read or whatever? And then now it'll actually organize your thoughts. Cool. Really, you can use it for various tasks that will help.
We could do a whole episode on it.
Yes. And so one area that it's actually helping a lot is optimizing inventory management. So I'm thinking of super large retailers like Amazon, where then you have weather databases that are tied into your dispatching databases and all this other stuff. So it's actively updating in real time based on current conditions, and it can actually help seamlessly kind of help transportation and various other logistics to be more efficient and faster. Optimizing for mobile and emerging search technologies. So really a lot of devices are getting smaller and smaller, and you're starting to see a lot of the tiny tablets and laptops with what they call ARM CPUs. And so that's just a CPU that's a special type that uses way less energy. It can be, but it's still pretty powerful. It's not going to be as powerful as your desktop with an actual Intel, i7, that kind of thing. But they're still pretty good, and those are actually what AI algorithms are tuned to using. So the newer technologies, the newer tablets with those ARM processors are going to be kind of leading the charge going forward to having AI in your smaller devices on all your phones and things like that.
On smart devices, home smart stuff.
Not so much that, just more your new laptop or your new Android device always have your phone devices, any sort of small smart device that they have a new processor in it that's basically uses way less energy to do pretty decent amount of data. They call them Raspberry Pis, have been around for a very long time, and they barely use any energy, and they're like a little microcomputer now that you can run basic tasks on. So those types of processors are becoming more and more prevalent in desktops, like the Surface, Microsoft Surfaces, I think, have them and stuff like that too, and it will help them with their Copilot readiness or other AI tools.
Oh, is it on my laptop? Because I have a Copilot.
You still have a Core.
Oh,
but
I do.
yeah.
Okay.
But if you had like a really, usually it's
Just
the
curious.
thinner laptops that almost look like Chromebooks or the really
Oh,
tiny
the really
ones because
tiny
you can't
ones.
fit a beefy processor in it. So they've made these tiny ones that use less
Ah,
energy that are pretty
interesting.
efficient for that. Um, and so from there, we're going into cloud technology. So a lot of places, you typically may have like a file server or programs that you're using for your business that are running on a server locally still. A lot of businesses have been moving that to the cloud because then it adds for more seamless connectivity. If you have, for example, an accounting program and you always have to be in the office to run payroll, do all this and that, well, what if there's a giant blizzard or an event in the weather and you can't make it to the office? If it was in the cloud hosted, you could use your computer to connect from anywhere and then manage those applications from any location. So that's a huge thing. And it just makes it easier to work remotely and kind of have different teams work together collaboratively that may not be in the same location, as well as maybe sometimes the cost of now you got the server that's 5, 6 years old. Do we really want to spend it, get a completely new server and then just for this program, or can we maybe take those funds and put it into a cloud onboarding and just have like a monthly fee that we pay instead of paying for the actual hardware ourselves? So it kind of depends on your business or your use case, but you can weigh those options and possibly move some of your locally hosted apps to the cloud. You do want to prioritize employee training on emerging technology. So it's very common that when you have new staff, they come in, they go through the handbook, they do the training, you show them all the systems, all of that, but then that's usually kind of sometimes the end of it where you might have a little refresher here and there, but it's not a constant, continuous education program that they're enrolled in. So using DS Tech, we have security awareness training where we will send fake phish messages to your employees on purpose just to see if they're looking for certain things in the emails. They're not just clicking everything. They even have courses where you could take and make a lesson from a catalog of videos and create a custom content that either it's an onboarding series of videos, maybe it's a refresher if someone clicks too many phishing links and make them do it again. You kind of set it up however you want, but having that ongoing continuous education and having them always kind of be on alert, like, oh, is this a phishing link? I don't want to be phished again. It really will help reduce the amount of clicks you're getting, and that's still the number one vector for malware, ransomware, anything into your networks is just staff clicking bad email links. That's still
everybody falls for them, and
yep.
It works. That training works. I know.
Yes. No one wants to be the one called out, and even I've clicked links, in the past. It's just part of learning. It's just the way that you get better.
That's when I frantically messaged Tim and I'm like, crap, I clicked it and I think it was a scam.
Yeah. And it's good to tell your management or whoever that you did click one, because if it was truly malicious, they can take action such as changing your password, signing you out, and doing certain things that will, if it was malicious, we can stop it from actually becoming a problem before it even starts.
Yeah.
As long as you own it to let management know, and then we can take care of it too. There's other cybersecurity measures to just strengthen in general as well. Obviously, having that security awareness training and the phishing is a great first step, but then also maybe upping your the level of software you're using for your antivirus. If you're using a standard antivirus, move up to a managed solution. They call it MDR, Managed Defense and Response. So that is basically an AI-driven antivirus on your computer that does machine learning and all this kind of stuff, and it's actually coupled with a 24/7 security center who are watching it all the time. So even if an attack were to go off at 2 in the morning, you have live humans able to segment and then rope in us if needed, if it's that late after hours and things like that. So if you're with us and you have our solution, you already have kind of that SOC is what they call it, with that MDR. But
Security Operations Center, did I get it?
Yep, exactly. So that's a great thing, having that. Implement that MFA if you haven't already done that yet. I think most of our clients, we've gotten there, but just in general, if you're a business and you haven't done the whole got to take the code in when you log in, I know it's a big hindrance, but the security is totally worth it to help prevent random credentials that are being used, especially now with all the different forums on the dark web where they're trading credentials all the time and people are lazy and reuse passwords. It's really a good idea to have that MFA, so that way even if your stuff was compromised and they got your email and your password, they still can't get in because they don't have that secondary layer.
My Microsoft one has 3 layers now. It goes multi-factor, like the number, right?
Oh, yeah, the number to
the
log
number
in.
code, and then my fingerprint.
Then your fingerprint on top of it. Yeah.
So.
Yep, that's why I've stopped saying 2-factor, because it's getting to the point where some of these have like 3 or 4 steps to go through before you're finally in. But that's just
it's multi-factor now.
Yep,
so,
it's true multi-factor.
Yes.
Something you can do as a business if you haven't done it before is do a security, audit. Basically, look through your the entire environment. You're looking for holes in the firewall. You're maybe looking for permissions that are over abundance, like say as regular staff has member access to say the accounting folder or something like that. We can do kind of an overall, I call it SRA, and that'll be basically a giant look at your environment and kind of look for holes. It's kind of like hiring a criminal to break into your house, and then rather than steal something when they're done, they actually tell you how they got in. It's kind of the same thing. We can look through, do a big audit, and then help you plug some of those holes, and then with our findings. Yeah,
Is that our security assessment?
that's kind of like a deep version of that, where
Gotcha.
we can rope in, like we have a light version of a security assessment where we can run a quick scan, look at some things like that. But if you really wanted to get into the weeds, companies will pay a lot of money to have, we can rope in like our Cyber 74, our experts can work with us and really get in there and do a really deep, it's almost like a penetration test, but when
Gotcha.
businesses want a penetration test, usually what they want is an SRA, because that's a more generalized look at everything, where a penetration test is typically focused on a specific aspect. Like, can you get into our server and hack our customer records? Like, there's your one task, and can they get to that point with a pen test? They're trying to narrowly get into a certain aspect, where an SRA is kind of an overall
Gotcha.
security assessment. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
and yeah, that's pretty much it. Strengthening the cybersecurity measures is going to be huge, especially with the bad guys are using AI to do the phishing messages that look easier now. So just using it on the defense and continuing the education with your staff is really the biggest thing that can really help keep you secure going into the new year.
Okay, so we got to summarize the resolutions that we found that a lot of small businesses are doing in their businesses is
embracing artificial intelligence or automation.
So doing that.
You're optimizing for mobile and emerging technologies and search technologies. This is the newer, latest, thinner devices.
Gotcha.
You want to adopt cloud-based applications or move your services to the cloud if possible to make working remote and very easily.
And implement
cybersecurity. Cybersecurity measures, and there's kind of a subset of the cybersecurity, which is the antivirus, backups, all that kind of stuff. But then you really want to do the employee training, the security awareness training, because that's the biggest thing. That a lot of people may have a good antivirus, they may have good backups and all of this stuff, but they're not doing that continuous training on the employees. That's
super important.
Big deal there. So
it is a big deal. Yeah. Yes, because almost all the time the incidents that occur, almost all the time, 90% of the time, right?
Yep.
It's somebody that clicks something.
Yep.
So that's it. Happy New Year. Drop help if you need any help with any of this, implementing it or whatever, and we'll be in touch. Drop your questions, and we'll see you next time.